From the video store on the ocean floor, it's Dread Diver Radio. In this episode, I'll take a look at the new PG-13 Blumhouse trailer, The Woman in the Yard. I'll take you back to the early 80s to talk about the reaction and controversy surrounding the release of Bill Lustig's sleazy slasher classic, Maniac. And we'll cover a few horror headlines so that I can mouth off about stuff and yell into the void to give myself a false sense of validation. Whatever. So drop an anchor and stay a while. Here we go. Here we are. Experiencing episode 3 together. Do you feel it? The togetherness? I do. Wait, that might be crippling loneliness and despair. I always get those mixed up. But don't worry, you won't feel despair for long because we're about to dig into the new Blumhouse trailer for The Woman in the Yard. I guess that might not help with the despair. Depends on how you feel about Blumhouse movies. Let's get right into it.
Mommy?
The trailer kicks off with yet another old song, because that's the only way anyone knows how to make trailers anymore. And in this case, it's the song, Anyone Who Knows What Love Is Will Understand, written by Jeannie Seely and Randy Newman, among others. First recorded and released as a single in 1964 by Irma Thomas. The B-side was Time Is On My Side. The song was used a bunch of times in multiple episodes on the show Black Mirror. Does it give us a clue as to what the story is about? I highly doubt it. It's probably mostly there to make sure that I can't play parts of this trailer without getting a copyright strike. I'm on to you, Blumhouse trailer people. You don't fool me. We see daily mundane family existence, and it becomes obvious that the father of the family is recently deceased. The little girl even says, "Now that Daddy's dead, we still gonna live here?" Ouch. Then the older boy name checks Doritos specifically.
What's in these? What am I tasting? Doritos?
The trailer's only 2.5 minutes long, and we spend 10 seconds doing product placement for Doritos. If Frito-Lay didn't pay for that, then they sure are getting a lot of free publicity lately. What with this trailer and also a recent ringing endorsement by a certain hopeful political candidate. But I don't do politics on this channel, so you know what? I am going to get political for just a minute. I'll come out and say it. I prefer Cool Ranch flavor to the classic nacho cheese. There. You happy? Feels good to get that off my chest. I'm getting canceled for sure. Anyway.
Hey, Mom. There's a woman in the yard.
Next thing you see is a black-clad woman sitting in the yard with a veil over her face. Creepy? I guess. If you saw that in real life where you weren't expecting it, I suppose it would make the hair on your neck stand up. But in the context of a movie...
Who is that?
I don't know.
Where'd she come from?
I don't know that either. Maybe she's dead.
Mama!
Come here, baby.
Let's see what happens next. The mother uses crutches and the wind kicks up to blow the cover off of a car in the yard that has clearly been in a major accident. The black-clad woman opens her hands to reveal blood. Oh my God, blood. I mean a little blood. Like how much blood you would see if you cut your hand smashing a window to frantically gain your freedom from a theater showing Night Swim or Imaginary.
Why is your face covered?
Then we get the Blumhouse logo and a reminder that they produced Black Phone. And a title card telling us that this is from the director of The Shallows. Wait a minute, why The Shallows? He also directed Orphan and last year's Netflix hit Carry On. Why not mention those? Oh, The Shallows was produced by Blumhouse. Of course. Jason Blum, you diabolical.
I think she's closer.
Anyway, let's see what's up next for this director. Jungle Cruise 2. I kind of wish I hadn't looked that up. Let's move on. If you're wondering why I haven't said the director's name, it's because he's from Barcelona and I don't want to make a fool of myself. You can look it up. Just Google Director of Jungle Cruise 2. You'll see his name and probably a photo where it looks like his soul has left his body. Why am I being so snarky today? Who pissed in my cornflakes this morning? Probably Jason Blum.
You children are such darlings, ripe enough to eat.
Oh my God, she moved the wind chimes without touching them. Wait, I thought that was the whole purpose of wind chimes. It's part of the design. So then comes this repetitive music cue. Where have I heard that before?
Hey, fellas. Studying for the big test?
Oh yeah. I hope Adam Sandler is getting royalties. Another series of title cards says, once you call her, she's not leaving without you. Chilling. Okay, so maybe you're not a grumpy, disillusioned old man like me. Maybe you want to check this one out. Well, like I said, it's in theaters on March 28th. Wait a minute. That's like 3 days ago. So this movie is already out? Damn it. I'm pretty isolated down here. Occasionally I lose track of time. It's still 2018 though, right? Okay, how many of you have seen Maniac from 1980? Well, actually, 1980 was the year that it played at the Cannes Film Festival. It was actually released in the US on March 6th, 1981. The Bill Lustig directed horror film was unleashed on the country, and some people were not happy. Women's groups were pissed. Parents were pissed. Shop owners were painting over billboards. Gene Siskel, who notoriously had a stick up his ass about slasher movies, walked out of a screening. Vincent Canby absolutely skewered the movie. The LA Times refused to run ads, all because of a little low-budget 16mm horror film from New York that was made for less than $200,000. They took the movie to the Cannes Film Festival. Where do they do that? Wisconsin? Oh yeah, France. They sold the international rights to different distributors around the world on a total budget of less than $200K. They walked away from Cannes with over $1 million in deals. Back in the States, they ended up selling distribution rights to a company called Analicious. That can't be right. Analysis. I couldn't read my own writing there. Anyway, Analysis Film Corporation, which was mostly releasing foreign art films at the time. Lustig and his producing partner, Andy Garoni, thought that releasing the movie under a more prestigious banner would perhaps elevate the film in a way. But ultimately, it had a boomerang effect because notable newspaper film critics who would usually pass on low-budget horror films actually reviewed the film and were pretty damn vicious with their reviews. I'll read a few quick excerpts from the New York Times critic Vincent Canby. Good sense, if not heaven, should protect anyone who thinks he likes horror films from wasting a price of admission on Maniac, a movie that shows how an aging pot-bellied maniac slices up young women of no great intelligence. Later in the review, he describes Joe Spinell's character, Frank Zito. He is terrible in all capacities. Though his performance is more immediately objectionable, watching him act like a psychopathic killer with a mommy complex is like watching someone else throw up. I guess he didn't really like it. But as Bill Lustig said, this was not a movie for them. The movie did get a lot of attention. Prior to releasing, they placed a full-page ad in the New York Times, which was rare for a low-budget horror film. When Lustig had suggested the idea of placing the ad to Ed Montero, who at one point wanted to distribute the film himself, he responded, "Lustig, your audience either lives on or under the New York Times." You guys like my New York accent? It's pretty good. The backlash was so swift and severe that the LA Times banned the movie from even running an ad. According to Lustig, Maniac was the only movie that they ever banned. The old adage, "there's no such thing as bad publicity," actually didn't hold up in the case of Maniac's theatrical run. Because of protests and angry phone calls, a lot of movie theaters pulled the movie after a week or two, which substantially hurt the bottom line for the distributor analysis. Other people weren't happy either. Representatives from the National Organization of Women held up the film as an example of pure misogyny in horror filmmaking. There was even a press conference where the ad for the movie was held up and pointed to directly. There was another case where the shop owner objected to a billboard outside their shop promoting the film with artwork that you may now all recognize, illustrating Spinell's character standing holding a knife and a woman's scalp. Apparently, they found this to be in bad taste and actually painted over it, with news crews standing by to document the whole thing. The movie was ultimately fairly successful around the world and made money. I think the whole experience with Maniac left an impact on director Bill Lustig. He spent the whole second half of his career devoted to preservation of exploitation movies from a bygone era. First working with the company Anchor Bay in the 90s, and then starting his own company, Blue Underground, which helped pioneer the boutique physical media collector's market, which persists today. And Blue Underground is still around. If you don't know about them, I'd say go check out their website. They've got a lot of good stuff. And I'm working on a long-form deep dive video about Maniac, how the movie got made, where it came from, the reaction, and the whole thing. That'll be launching soon on my YouTube page, so I suggest you check that out too, if you're interested. All right, in today's horror headlines, let's just look through the list here. Oh, a new poster for the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel, or prequel, or reboot, or requel, or whatever they want to call it. This apparently is news. I looked at the poster. It's about the most generic thing I've ever seen in my life. But it does have a hook with some blood on it. And it says exclusively in theaters July 18th. So that's kind of fun. According to the press release, a new trailer is coming very soon. So let's just break down the press release just because some of you might give a shit about this. Someone named Jennifer Caton Robinson is directing this new installment in the slasher franchise, which brings the 90s horror saga back to life on July 18th, 2025. Well, I mean, let's look back on this franchise real quick, because does it really count as a franchise? I guess. It was based on a Lois Duncan book from the 70s, which is really quite a bit different from the movie that they made in the 90s, and then they made a follow-up movie to that, which I gotta be honest with you guys a little bit here. I'm gonna come clean. I kind of like that movie. I know it's not good. I know it's sort of too slick, and it's got that, studio sheen, and the plot doesn't really make sense. And the big reveal of the second killer where he says Will's son, because his last name is Wilson, and he's like, Will's son. They wrote that and filmed it and then put it in the final edit. You gotta respect it on some level. I don't know. That bit with the side character, what's his name? The guy from Tenacious D. Oh, Jack Black. Right. where he's doing all the comedy relief shit in that movie. It's pretty bonkers. But I swear to God, the movie that you see on streaming is cut down from the movie in theaters. And I don't think I have this one on physical media. So can somebody out there enlighten me? Is the movie cut? I think there's some stuff missing from that movie. Or maybe I just ate too many lead paint chips as a kid. But anyway, but also Freddie Prinze Jr. is reprising his role. And oh my God, it's been 27 years since the release of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Wow. Now, they did do a third movie. Some people don't even know about it because I'm pretty sure it went straight to video back in the early 2000s. And weirdly, it was set in Colorado. I don't know why. The killer is a fisherman. I've spent some time in Colorado, quite a bit actually, and there is fishing in Colorado. I mean, some of the best, fly fishing in the lower 48, but a guy in a slicker, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, odd. So this is the breakdown for the new movie. When 5 friends inadvertently cause a deadly car crash, they cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. And then the past comes back to haunt them. Killer, horrifying truth, hell-bent on revenge. So this is just a remake. It's the exact same plot. But then they add in this little fun tidbit. As one by one the friends are stalked by a killer, they discover that this has happened before, and they turn to 2 survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997 for help. Okay, well, I mean, it seems kind of silly, but I guess. I mean, they did do it. They tried to do a TV show on Hulu or one of those, and it was sort of updated, and I didn't really watch it. I had to watch like one scene from it because I was cutting it into a video about something else I was doing, and it looked like the whole plot was centered around like a jealous lesbian lover kind of thing. That seems like it's sort of really removed from the original, but I guess they were doing their own thing. Who the hell knows? But this new one, it's got Jennifer Love Hewitt coming back. Love her. You know, she's an icon of the era. And let's bring her back. Freddie Prinze Jr., I think, is fun just to see these actors play the roles that they embodied back in the 90s. And you know, Kevin Williamson wrote the script adapted from the Lois Duncan novel of the original. They got this new writer, Leah McKendrick. I don't know who that is. I'm going to look it up. Hold on a second. Apparently she's an actress who has written a couple of things, and I gotta be honest, I don't recognize any of her credits. Maybe a younger, more tuned-in person would. She was in something called Pretzel and The Final List, Baby Steps, Scrambled, Wish Upon a Unicorn. I don't know what any of this stuff is. She's got a couple of writing credits, not much. So I guess she played a waitress in Entourage. Okay. Kevin Williamson hadn't done much when he wrote Scream and the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, so who knows? Maybe this will be good. Maybe this team can pull it together. I'm a little skeptical. It'll be good to see, the old characters coming back just to wink at us old bastards who saw the original in the theater when it came out. But what do you guys think? You looking forward to this? Like I said, pretty lukewarm. But I'll see it, of course, because I see everything. And I'll probably talk about it on this podcast again. Here's another random headline. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Terrifier, RoboCop, The Last Drive-In, activity books available from Fright Rags. Huh. This gets a headline too. Look, I love Fright Rags, and I think they do a great job over there, and I love all of these things. I'm a little baffled by the proliferation of coloring books for adults. What are you supposed to do with these? Like, and this is even someone talking who has bought a few of them in the past. I'm pretty sure from Fright Rags. I get it. It's fun. It's whimsical. It kind of mashes up sort of like childhood and horror movies. And does anybody actually like do anything with them? I'm curious about that. I mean, the artwork is pretty cool. It's actually really cool. Some of it. And they even have like word puzzles, and some of the artwork looks a little bit undercooked. But I'm trying to think back in the day if I ever had a RoboCop coloring book. Maybe. If I did, it definitely didn't have an image of Paul McCrane's character after he's been doused in the nuclear waste, which this one does, which is fun. So maybe this needs to exist just for that. Just so whomever out there has always wanted to color in a picture of a guy melting on his feet because of exposure to horrible toxic chemicals, they have the option to do that. And didn't he play a gooey guy on an X-Files episode too? I can't remember which one that was. The guy just plays gooey really well. That sounded weird. Let's move on. Okay, that pretty much wraps up episode 3. I've gotten a lot of feedback from listeners. Most of you are saying, please stop what you're doing. Enough already. But a much smaller faction of the audience is saying, please do slightly shorter episodes more frequently. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do one of these a week if possible. If anybody out there has some good ideas for topics to cover, please leave a comment below. Dread Diver out.